Pole position then for Todd Ellis and Emmanuel Clement. They did a storming 1:55.8. That was about 2 seconds quicker than anyone else. Markus Schlosser, Marcel Fries alongside. Now this race was a really close one, and it was going to set things up for a fantastic second race on Sunday. But the Saturday race, under hot skies, hot clear skies, temperature of about 34 degrees, so it was very warm. You can tell by the dress of the spectators. A relatively small grid, but the quality is here, and it was here because when the lights went, it was Todd Ellis and Emmanuel Clement who rocketed away, followed by Schlosser and Streuer. Benny Streuer on the Benova action bike, tucking in behind. Streuer and his passenger Kevin Kolsch moving through to grab second place. Todd Ellis and Emmanuel Clement meanwhile ahead, but it was Benny Streuer who moved into second ahead of Markus Schlosser. So that pushed the reigning champion, second in the title chase this year, back into third place. Not where they wanted to be, because they could see that the championship leaders and their main rivals were in a 25-point slot. So they had to do something about it. And what did they do? Well, they tried to dive past and made it stick underneath Benny Streuer. So up to second place went Schlosser. Schlosser and Fries on the Gustoil Yamaha were riding very strongly. Second, though, in qualifying to the pole position and the race leaders, Todd Ellis. Harry Payne and Mark Wilkes out post-TT on the Dow 1886 Yamaha found themselves locked in a battle with Ted and Vance on Peugeot. And Lucas Wiesem was in there as well, the likeable Swiss, on the Gustoil bike. And as they fought their way round, Harry Payne putting on a good fist here, and we need to see him more regularly on the world stage. There's no doubt about it, as he looked over his shoulder. But Peugeot was coming through, Wiesem was riding very quickly. And these three then had a scrap all the way through until Payne hit a bit of a problem. But I'll tell you a bit more about that later on. Meanwhile, at the front, Todd Ellis was doing a great job fending off, and in fact doing a real battle, fending off the challenge from Markus Schlosser as they clipped the grass. Wonderful scenery here at the Pannonia Ring, named after a famous motorcycle built in the post-war years here in the communist countries, particularly manufactured here in Hungary. Schlosser closing then on the back of Todd Ellis and going through and making the pass to take the lead. Ellis, not to be outdone and undeterred, stayed very much in touch and repeated the compliment on the very next right-hander. So it was back in the lead. The normal order was restored as through went Ellis and Clement to assume control at the front. Schlosser and Marcel Fries could see their championship lead evaporating, coming here with a 14-point disadvantage, and at the moment trailing by another 5 points. Harry Payne and Mark Wilkes on the Dow 1886 Yamaha retiring with a problem which transpired to be a split exhaust. Great pity for them, a long way to come. But they would have another race tomorrow, and hopefully they would make amends. At the front, though, it was Ellis and Clement with Schlosser and Fries, Streuer and Kevin Kolsch tucked into third. Schlosser, though, making a very quick move again on that fast Yamaha. We've seen how fast it is before. He shot through on the inside. Was Ellis going to take it lying down? Not a bit of it. You can see just how quickly they tucked back. And if this race was anything to go by, then we were set for a battle royal in race 2. The three getting away, waiting for the fourth crew to come through, and it was Steve Kershaw and Ryan Charwood on the Quattro Yamaha, followed by Ted and Vance on Peugeot, and profiting by Harry Payne's disadvantage, Lucas Wiesem and Thomas Hofer renewing their battle that they had at Spa. Number 11, Peter Kimmersvega and Andrei Sedlacek, his Czech passenger, in a safe 7th place, and it was a good result for them. They were looking resplendent. This battle raged all race long. Kevin Cable, Chaz Richardson and Claude Vinet with Sebastian Arafon alongside, and they were battling race long for 8th place. The scrap at the front was terrific, equally close. It was a 12-wheeler. They were charging. Benny Stroyer, Kevin Kolsch, never far from the front two. And you could just tell, couldn't you, that there was no way Marcus Schlosser was going to let Todd Ellis get away. Ted Peugeot and Lucas Wiesen going strongly in the sunshine here, and boy, it was hot. There would be tyre degradation, no doubt about that. So managing the tyres would have been an important part in this race, particularly with another one coming up tomorrow. They had to know what to expect, and it's forecast to be even hotter. Emmanuel Clement doing an absolutely great job as they kept their bike ahead of Schlosser. Everyone using all the road. Checkered flag was out, and it was victory by about 0.3 of a second that Todd Ellis took and extended that championship lead by another 5 points. There you were. 2.2. Schlosser was second, Stroyer, Kershaw another fourth. Peugeot got the better of Wiesen, Kimmersvegger, Cable, Richardson, Vinet, Arafon, right behind Kevin Cable. Payne and Wilkes out without exhaust. Delighted faces on the podium, and another race coming up tomorrow. Well, it was even hotter on Sunday morning, and this race just absolutely was going to be a blinder. Pole position again, and first race victory for Todd Ellis and Emmanuel Clement as they lined up on the Santander Salt Yamaha alongside Marcus Schlosser and Marcel Fries. Behind them, Benny Stroyer, Kevin Kolsch, Steve Kershaw, Ryan Charlwood, fourth in race one. Could they go one better this time? They've already had a podium this year. They need to do something a bit special, but they are in third place in the championship. An incredible performance for these, wandering gypsies of Europe, I think, out of Scotland, focusing on the World Championship, not doing the British. Waiting then, red flag leaves, watch the lights. 15-second board is up, the flag's gone, the lights are on, the lights are off, and it's a great start by Todd Ellis. The Gust Oil Yamaha of Schlosser alongside as they go up to the right-hander of turn one. Benny Stroyer in the wheel tracks there, looking right, looking left, but round the outside, imperiously goes Todd Ellis. He's got his confidence, his mojo's back, he's really, really going. Well, his mojo's never been away this year. They've been sensational. He, the 27-year-old driver, and his 25-year-old lady passenger, she has been terrific. Look at that. A small grid, but as I said at the outset of yesterday's race, it doesn't detract from the racing because the quality is so high. Harry Payne and Mark Wilkes hoping for a better result this time. They retired with a split exhaust all the way from the Isle of Man. They missed Spa, so they've got a bit of catching up to do. On board then with Payne and Wilkes on the back of Kershaw and Charlwood. Race leaders Ellis, Clement, Schlosser, Fries. Then it's the old battle again. Right at the back of that we have Lucas Wiesen, Thomas Hofer, but they're not losing sight of the young Peugeot and his father in the chair, Ted Peugeot, who wasn't going to do all the... Look at that! Out on the green stuff, that's Benny Stroyer. Benny Stroyer ahead of Steve Kershaw. Kershaw will have seen that. There might be an opportunity. We're on board with Harry Payne watching all that, so a great shot. At the front then, Todd Ellis in front, holding off and fending off all the attentions of Marcus Schlosser. There, the Bonovo action bike of Benny Stroyer, the only Bonovo action bike running. Shame Tim Reeves is not here, but that is of his own volition. He opted not to do any as he couldn't do Spa, so having done the first two, he is now basically sitting out the rest of the championship, which is a great shame because to have Tim Reeves and Kevin Rousseau in the mix here would be a sight to behold. Nonetheless, the two blue and white bikes at the back, difficult to tell them apart. Through the inside of Stroyer and up to third goes Kershaw. This is great stuff. Kershaw and Ryan Charlwood then in third now. They've been on the podium before this year. They want more of it. They really do. They like what they see with the podium. Todd Ellis, Emmanuel Clement looking strong here. Harry Payne looking a little bit wide there. Lost an awful lot of time, Harry Payne there. And he was looking at the back of the other boys and they got away. Benny Stroyer back again, sidecar over the grass ahead of him, Kershaw and Charlwood. out in front, Ellis and Clement, and still chasing them down Schlosser. You just know, don't you? You just know something's going to happen, because even if he leaves it till the last lap, it will be there. You could bet your bottom dollar on it. You can bet all the cars you've got in your garage on the fact that Schlosser will have a do-or-die attempt, a lunge on the last lap, if not before. Benny Stroyer then, if anything, dropping back a little bit off the back of Steve Kershaw. Not where he wants to be. Harry Payne leading the chasing two blue and white bikes. That's Ted Bergeau and Lucas Wiesen in that order respectively. Kershaw now is as close to Schlosser as he has been. 4 bikes. And then 3 more. So we've got, it is more of a 12-wheeler at the front. And now this battle again being renewed with Kevin Cable, Chaz Richardson and Vinay Arafont. Good to see the Frenchman Vinay here contesting every round as well. So there was some question as to whether he would. Through then on Harry Payne goes Ted Bergeau. Ted Bergeau sliding underneath. The Vincent father, son and father. The son riding the bike, father on the back. Number 74 acquitting themselves really, really well. Still Todd Ellis having to ride very carefully here, because he knows his pit board will be telling him what's behind, and it's an absolute freight train. Benny Stroyer closing again on Steve Kershaw, Ryan Charlwood. These boys have had a great season, they really have. And focusing their main attention on the World Championship. Shame they're not doing some of the British, but that is of their choice, and I suppose funds make it difficult. I mean, where else would you see sidecar racing like this, when deep into the race you've got 4 outfits on the same piece of tarmac? You could get them in the back of an Arctic. Benny Stroyer then, looking at Steve Kershaw. Looking which way? Right way. Shall I go left? Shall I go right? Sidecar wheel on the green stuff. Closing in the big fat Avon tyres. Standing up well in this heat, and it is heat 34 degrees. If you want it hot, then it's here at the Pannonia Ring in Hungary. Most of the crowd with their shirts off. None of the ladies, not that I've noticed anyway. But Todd Ellis now in a 19-point lead in the championship, and here goes Benny Stroyer. Benny Stroyer up to third. Benny Stroyer up to third, having slid up the inside of Steve Kershaw, so reunited with third place. Benny Stroyer, the former champion. Kevin Kolsch, his exuberant young passenger who does such a great job, and moving out of the slipstream up towards turn 1. Down the start-finish straight, we're on board again with another fly on the camera of Markus Schlosser. This right-hander is approached very fast. You can do it on the brakes, but where is Todd Ellis? No sign of Ellis. Schlosser is in front, firmly in front. There is Todd Ellis. Ellis and Emmanuel Clement. He gives as good as he gets every single time. There is no question that Todd Ellis is a master. They keep it clean as well, these guys. It's very tidy racing. Kershaw still in touch. Stroyer, Kolsch. Oh, wow. The reflection of Todd Ellis's bike in the very highly polished fairing of Markus Schlosser is a sight to behold. Schlosser then very well aware that he has a race on his hands. Looking deep into the race now, but these are long, long races. Anything can happen. We've seen it time and time again. But this 2022 season has already gone down as one of the closest in terms of the racing and the competitive nature. On the green stuff again for Ellis. You just know, don't you? You just know that coming later in the race, it's going to be frantic action. And which one of these crews will triumph? Which one of them will stand on the podium? There's already been double victory for Todd Ellis. Came away from Spa-Francorchamps with double victory, maximum points. What a fillip for their confidence that was. Still Ted Bergeau leading Harry Payne. And there, Lucas Wiesen, Thomas Hofer, the second of the blue and white outfits. The Gust Oil effectively teammates to Markus Schlosser. Here comes Schlosser again, that same move. Slinging it wide out of the turn, going past on the left-hand side into turn 1 to take the lead. Now what has told Ellis got here? Schlosser will close the outside door, so he takes the back door. That'll do nicely. Underneath Schlosser, neck and neck, almost kissing the passenger. A look over the shoulder from Emmanuel Clement. What a brilliant young lady she is. Benny Stroyer acquitting himself. These four outfits, nothing between them. Absolutely, I'm not taking my eyes off the screen, not for the timing screen, not for my paperwork, because if I do, I'm going to miss something. That battle between Vinet and Kevin Cable, with Vinet, then Claude Vinet. Sorry if I'm tripping over my teeth. I didn't borrow a spare set before coming into this, but it's non-stop action. And Kevin Cable and Chaz Richardson on the L&W Contractors bike, just having a wonderful, wonderful race. Look at them. Here they come again, the 111 bike. Claude Vinet, Sébastien Arafon on that deep, deep metallic burgundy bike. Good racing all the way down the field. Everybody's battling. Everybody's fighting. None more so than these boys at the front. Schlosser, Ellis ahead of him. Well, what a race. I don't know. I'm not going to get £10 out of my pocket. I don't know which way this is going. This Pannonia Ring, the most fantastic track, about 125 miles due west of the capital of Hungary, Budapest. 18 turns, 11 rights, 7 lefts, 2.93 miles each lap. Here he comes again, Markus Schlosser. But Todd Ellis found a little bit more speed across the line that time. But no, Schlosser dives across the nose. You can't take your eyes off this action, can you? Where's Ellis going this time? He's going left. He's going left. He's up the inside, but he's across. Oh, he's across. Schlosser then cut the nose off Ellis. That was Ellis. Went wide. Schlosser took advantage of that wide move. And Ellis coming out of the slipstream again. And there was a bit of a rub there. Bit of a rub. Marcel Fries had to just jump in a little bit. That, well, did one pull the move and was it honours even? I don't know. I didn't quite see, only from the onboard, what Schlosser's move was on Todd Ellis, but certainly Todd Ellis went wide. Now, Benny Stroyer has profited there. Benny Stroyer has profited from that little hiccup between those toe crews, and that is crucial. I think it's crucial because Stroyer seems to be getting away. And Schlosser is down in fourth. Kershaw profited as well. Kershaw made his way through into a podium place late in the race. Oh, this is absolutely sensational. Eat your heart out if you're not here. This is where you need to be, whether you're watching or whether you should be competing. And we hear that Sam and Tom Christie could well be joining the grid in 1 week's time in Croatia. So that's more fuel on the fire here. Great stuff. It's the place to be if you fancy yourself as a World Championship racer. Do not miss this. Get out on the tarmac. If you've got eligibility, make sure you're here for Croatia or into the closing races in the season. Schlosser in fourth. Goodness me. Charlwood in third. Ted Peugeot still down there, going strongly. On board with Harry Payne. And through goes Ted Peugeot again. That looks like, or was that Lucas Wiesen? Difficult to tell. All I can tell you that Markus Schlosser is looking at the back of Steve Kershaw and he's going to go past. He's going to make a move. He knows he's quick over the line and through he goes. Schlosser then back up to third. Kershaw will be shaking himself with rage now because he needs that podium. He wants that podium. He's looking as well for that podium. But look at that. Out in front, that's Benny Stroyer, who's pulled a good gap on Todd Ellis and Emmanuel Clement. They're in a 20-point position. But the most important thing is the man behind them is in a 16-point position, and that is their main championship rival and the title defender. Lucas Wiesen, number 41 on the Gusta Yamaha. He and Thomas Hofer have had a solitary race once they dropped off the back of Ted Peugeot. This is not over yet. This is not over yet. Look at this between these three crews. Benny Stroyer's away with it. The Quattro bike of Steve Kershaw wants a bit of that action, a bit of that podium action. Is it on? I've got a dry mouth. I'm sure they've got dry mouths. I'm not taking my eyes off the screen for a second. Incredible stuff. Incredible Round 4 here. Todd Ellis in second place. The title lead still safe. Benny Stroyer then, former champion, getting another taste, is he, of the top step of the podium. It's all to fight for second. And here comes Schlosser, having a look at Ellis. He wants that second place. He wants to claim 4 points back. Is it on? Schlosser then having a look. Emmanuel Clement using her weight as much as she can to the best of the advantage to get it over the rear wheel. Get the drive to the flag. And it's Benny Stroyer. Ellis gets it from Schlosser. Kershaw in 4th. Amazing stuff. Well, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant stuff. I absolutely love it. Overcome the rest of the crews. A good fight by Peugeot. I said that boy was good. Double checkered flags here. Harry Payne comes over to get a good result. He will clinch, I think, 7th place. Looks like it. So, yeah, 7th place. Oh. Confirmation of that. Stroyer, Ellis, Schlosser, Kershaw, Peugeot. There's the top 5. Wiesen got the better of Payne into 7th, but points for Harry Payne and Mark Wilkes. Vinay got the better of Cable. Kimmerswenger, DNF, a retirement. What a shame for them.